So I came across an article from bankrate.com, and they listed a company called Amica as the #1 home insurance for 2021. I was a little bit curious because it's been a while since I've seen that name pop up on the charts, and I figured I'd dive a little bit in deep for you guys to find out why they think that Amica is the best insurance for 2021 and some things that you should probably know before you decide to go with them. I personally dove in and started to look at Amica Insurance. I've actually done reviews on them in the past. I think it was 2017 when I started to do the top 5 insurance companies. They were in the top 5. According to this article, they've actually been the overall best insurance company for home insurance for the last 15 years. And 2021 is no exception. Now, I don't quite fully understand how and why they're at the top, because when I dove in, I saw some things that I didn't necessarily like, and then I dove a little bit further to find those answers. So I'm going to dive right in and show exactly what I came up with. One of the clear-cut reasons that I think that Amica is so powerful is because they're what's called a dividend company. They're essentially owned by their customers, which is not very common anymore. A lot of the companies out there are stockholders and shareholders, where the company is working for profits towards that. Don't get me wrong, Amica's working towards profit, but at the end of the day, when you get a dividend and there's profit left over, you're going to get a piece of your policy back. If you look back at some of their articles, you'll notice that they said an average person who had paid $1,000 in premium and they did really good as a company may get $200 of that back. Now, that's something that Allstate and I believe State Farm tried to do similar to that, and even Liberty Mutual started to do something where they were giving kickbacks. So the kickback was a little bit different because those companies weren't the dividend designed plans. And so this one is mainly designed to give more back, which in turn causes the customers not to want to file claims. Essentially, they're going to if they need to, but when they get into those conversations like, is this worth it? And am I collectively adding to the company, or are we taking away from their profitability? A lot of customers are more responsible. It's almost like today you look at the Bitcoins and all of that, and the markets are going up and down. They're volatile right now, and they're jumping all around, and people are investing. And when you get into that investing mode, you're going to find an insurance company that lets you invest. It makes you feel powerful. That alone, I think, is one of the major pieces that has propelled them to be a very successful company year after year. Now, that's not the only thing that they've done really well. They've also incorporated a lot of discounts that are tied around mixing those policies. So not only do those dividends carry across your home, they carry across your auto and life insurance. They have multiple products, but those are the 3 main things that people look towards. And when you look at their earnings for 2019, they show mainly those pieces as the profitability. And they're actually doing great. Their profitability has gone up year over year, I believe about 3 to 4% over the last previous year. So they have about $45 billion worth of business in force. Now, some of those numbers are probably 6 to 8 months old just because their data takes time to process for them to release that information. And the most powerful part of it, and the thing that I also think is equal to the dividends. So you have a company that is paying money back to customers that aren't having these claims. Where if you look at the other companies like Progressive and AAA and State Farm, you have to join some sort of a program like a tracking device or a ride share or some sort of like system that will give you that discount to show that you're not one of the bad drivers. So it's almost like you're showing the comparison between the two. If you were to set them side by side, it's going to clearly show that Amica's better. Don't get me wrong, this is not much different than if you went into Best Buy and you saw 2 TVs sitting next to each other. The one that's $1,800 versus the one that's $700. They both look amazing, but the $1,800 one is smoother, it's nicer, it's brighter. But if you took that TV away, that cheaper TV is gonna show great. You're gonna buy it until you realize that there's that other TV to compare with. And I think that's the part that Amica's really focused on, is showing people that they need to compare that possibility to the other ones. So here's the part where you guys chime in. Let me know below. I got a feeling that I already know the answer. But for the sake of it, tell me in the comments below, just if we ended the video here, there's a lot more that you gotta watch. But if we ended the video right now, just saying those 2 pieces, which company would you lean towards? The one that's gonna give you $150, $60 back, or the one that's going to make you do some sort of test drive or some sort of system to get a discount to save more money. Now that's a little bit unfair because these guys over here are doing great and they may even have a cheaper price. So they might actually be less expensive and you get a discount on top of it. Notice how it shifted the way that people want you to see different companies. This is something that I train to agents as well. It's kind of the perception focus is depending how you word things, they're going to show themselves in better light. Well, Amica is really, really focused on customer service, and that's the other part of it that's making them powerful. Now, that piece I think is actually going to die because that part of it is something that everybody is saying now. State Farm has the best customer service. Progressive has the best customer service. Allstate has the best customer service. Safeco, Citizens, Amica, all of these companies claim that they have the best customer service because it's something that's subjective. Every company thinks that they have the best. Even the ones that are ranked really low think that they're doing amazing. Because if they don't plan it or prepare for it or think that they're doing it great, then they're not really going to focus on it at all. Well, here's the part that Amica excels over them. Yes, I think that their customer service claim is slowly going to fall to the wayside. Now, the JD Power is still going to rate them great year over year over year, but having all these awards and everything, if you're not going to show them and flaunt them to a point where customers want to see that, and that's where it's going to pass off, is because most customers today don't care about those awards. They know that some companies pay to be in them. They don't pay to win, but they've got to show some sort of connection in order to be rated in those. So the JD Power is powerful and it's very unique and I love it. I think it's very accurate, but there is a cost to being part of that. With our generation today, they don't care so much about that. They care more about what that company is doing for the world. How are they connected? They want to feel connected to a company that's giving back. Well, that's where Amica excels. They are giving back $4.2 million in 2019, and I'm assuming it's grown since then, to the community. They have funds, they have organizations that they provide financing for. Well, not only that, but they also do a match. So if it's a qualified company, they'll match employee donations 150%. Whoa, I don't think you got that. Amica will take the money that their employees choose to donate and pay that amount and 50% more to that donation. That's amazing. You see a lot of companies like Farmers does a really good job at promoting, showing that people go out and help other people. And naturally, Farmers is large enough where they have some amazing people there. Some of those guys want to donate all their time if they can. They want to focus on helping the world. Well, at the end of the day, there's only so much that Farmers as a company without losing money can put into that. Amica has gone well beyond and over what any company that I've seen do, and they're matching that plus some. That not only has created something that people that can get into, not just today's age, but the millennials and the ones below that in the new age. And so there's something that they're giving back to the community, which has created kind of a cycle. Not only that, but the employees are also involved. And when you get the employees involved, that changes everything. Having the right employee in the right place makes all the difference because now they want to learn. Now they want to be part of the company that's giving matches plus some with their donations. They're focused on the same things that you're focused on. So you've got an environment where they want to grow. And that's where they're winning. They're winning because of the knowledge and the growth that their service team has. It's powerful. By the way, I had to stop here because a lot of people in the comments are probably already typing, oh my gosh, this guy's promoted. I have no affiliation with them. Actually, they're a competitor. So at the end of the day, these videos are for you guys. Anything that you're searching, if I notice it, I'm going to make a video on it. I'm not going to cheat or lie to the system to just give you guys what I think you should hear. Now, I'm going to give you the data that I've found. So this is the data that I'm coming back with in my opinions on where I think that they've done really well. So I figured, you know what? I might as well do a quote with them to find out what makes them tick. And here's where they started to lack a little bit. In these articles that I was reading, they were talking about how they're the new age tech and they've got some technology that's really great. But at the end of the day, their quoting system sucks. I felt like I was back in 2000 and I just grabbed my mom's computer and I'm typing on this old 2000 Windows XP system. It just is lacking. There was no actual way for me to get any enjoyment out of filling out a quote on their website. Not that you're going to get enjoyment with it. It's just an old looking system. It's dull. It's faded. I feel like it's just been dragged through the mud. Price is really what kicked in and made me a little bit excited and a little bit frustrated. Because what happened was I got through the quote. It did make some recommendations. I enjoyed that part of it. And it came back about $96 a month for their basic one. Now, actually, they did 3 different levels of it. So they came at a standard policy, which I didn't even look at. It was $96. They came in at a recommended at $87, so lower. And then I had actually went in and customized it to be closer to my company. I'm with Citizens Insurance. I've been happy with them for the last 6 years, and I pay just under $1,200 a year. Well, they came back a little bit over $1,200 a year once I added some of the features I have. And this is one of the other reasons I didn't like what they had to offer. They're doing the good, better, best situation where they give you 3 options, and usually you're going to pick the middle. That's the common. Well, this one throws you a little bit of a curveball because it actually showed me a lower rate in the middle. So it made me want to investigate it a little bit further and click on it. Well, in turn, I realized that none of these coverages were close to what I carry today. So when I matched them all up, they were about $50 to $100 higher than what I pay. And to wrap it up, that's a little bit of the last piece. So we're going to go over some of the discounts. But before we do that, the other part that I noticed, even on the Bankrate website, they talked about how their discounts weren't as good as other companies. Part of that is probably because they're the Dividend company, where they're giving the money back. Honestly, I probably would rather have the money back than all the additional benefits. But I can tell you the Citizens policy that I have now, oddly enough, is called the same thing. They're both called Platinums. My Citizens has way more coverage. Probably stuff I don't necessarily need, but there's a lot of upgrades like the water backup. Theirs gives 5,000. I believe mine gives 10,000. So right there and then, that's a big difference between the two. I'd rather have the 10,000 than the 5,000 and save $100 because if I have one claim or if I remove the water backup, I'm probably going to save another $100, which erases the dividends. The other part, which I should have dived in a little bit further, and I apologize, is I know Citizens in my state, which is Michigan, only goes back 3 years for claims, where other companies, and I assume Amica would probably go 5 years. If you know the answer to that, definitely leave that in the comments below so everyone can see that. But as far as I would guess, I'm assuming a 5-year plan. So before I dive into their discount section, I wanted to mention one other thing that I thought they worded extremely well. They have something called a home business coverage. The wording on that alone makes me want to go with them. Most people are doing some sort of hustle, some sort of side gig, some sort of work at home thing, even from their jobs. And having a home business coverage makes me feel safe and makes me feel like, you know what? These guys are okay with it. They understand that I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to save money. I want to invest and get dividends. I want to be taken care of. And having that home business coverage, just the wording alone is worth it. And then you click on it, it goes into depth. There's some pretty good coverages that they offer in there. I personally would probably add that on just because I have a lot of home-based stuff. And it makes me feel a little bit better about my policy versus just the name of it with other companies, which is usually called something like business edition or endorsement of something. And it's not really worded the best. That part makes me feel comfortable because I feel like I'm kind of lying to my insurance and sneaking things under the rug, which at the end of the day, I wonder if I'm getting covered correctly with the type of wording that other companies go towards. Okay, we made it to the discount section. And if you guys could do me a favor, definitely give this video a thumbs up. This one actually took me quite a bit longer than an average video. I had to dive in pretty deep to get a lot of this data. So I'm actually pulling up and I'm just gonna go through some of the discounts and just skim over the ones that I think that are important. But I'll list the ones that they have on their website. So they give a loyalty discount. That's if you've been insured for at least 2 years. So the more time is insured, the more you save. That's a pretty cool discount. That's something a lot of companies don't necessarily do. They give a loyalty discount for 3 years past, not 2 years past. So having that extra 2 year, the extra year ahead makes you feel a little bit more appreciated. Multi-line, they're giving up to 30%. That's pretty big. Most companies usually are 15 to 25%. So they're giving a little bit more back there. They do claims free if you've had no claims in the past 3 years. Auto pay, that's what everybody does. E-discount, so if you e-policy and all that, everyone does that as well. Alarm systems, if you have an alarm system in your home, everyone does that. New remodeled credit, that's something that's not common across the board, but I think a lot of companies have incorporated that. And then automatic detection device. It can track if the water leaks in your house, an alarm goes off, or if you have some sort of connection or security system like that, then they're going to give you a little bit of a kickback or a discount for that. Ultimately, for home insurance, Amica is by far a company that I could stand behind. For the cost of it, an extra $100 on top of what I pay today, keep in mind I might get $100 back, so they might be even. It's probably not enough to make me switch from my Citizens policy, which has more endorsements attached to it. There's more extra pieces. I personally know what they all mean. So for the regular person who doesn't want to get heavy into the what specifically am I being covered for, and that's where an agent comes into play, Amica's going to be a great fit. I would still get a second opinion that checks 4 or 5 or more different companies just to get the comparison. And that person can take the data that Amica shows and compare it against all of the stuff you may not understand. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you understand what exactly you're purchasing in that policy. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you want more detailed videos like this, and let me know below if there's another company that you want me to look into. Is there 2 companies that you're debating between and you're not sure which one's the best option? Comment below. I will see you guys in the next one.